Sh- Should we expect anything to change inside the Department of Justice now that Todd Blanche, who was Deputy Attorney General and then elevated to Acting Attorney General, is now the confirmed Attorney General of the United States?
No, unfortunately, nothing will change. Todd Blanche now becomes the symbol of Donald Trump's corruption of the rule of law in America and the actual ruin of the Department of Justice of the United States. This is another shameful act of acquiescence, if not obeisance, by the Senate Republicans. They will bear this badge of shame the rest of their lives. Never before in American history has an attorney general been confirmed who was as corrupt as Todd Blanche. The Department of Justice is already in shambles. And to your question, he will further ruin the Department of Justice. Now, the irony of former Attorney General Bill Barr's support for Todd Blanche is this. Todd Blanche will now be Donald Trump and Mike Johnson's point man on November 3rd, when the Republicans claim that the Democrats who were elected to the 120th Congress will not be seated because of fraud in their elections. That's the overarching significance today of this confirmation of this man.
On January 3rd.
So, Andrew, I'm wondering then why you're hearing people like Senator Bill Cassidy and Thom Tillis, who are arguing that the bar could go lower and that Todd Blanche is essentially the lesser of all evils. Let's actually listen to Tillis in his own words.
You have praised his judgment, but how can you square that with his willingness to go along with these measures in the first place? So if he had that judgment in the first place and changed his mind perhaps under duress, why do you think he's fit for Attorney General?
Because I believe that there are a number of things that Todd have done that were wise in protecting the president. Look, the big problem I have with this administration are people who are not protecting the president and not giving him unvarnished advice.
What do you make of that argument? I mean, we did at one point have nominee Matt Gaetz for Attorney General last year.
So I find the argument, I mean, to put it in a nutshell, preposterous. The idea that you're supposed to vote for someone because you could think of a worse person. Well, guess what? You could actually say no to this person and the next person. The normal route, what happens in a normal case is if you put somebody up who is not qualified, the Senate is sending a message that the next person needs to be more qualified, not less qualified. And that's the way it works. It is simply not the case that you get to have the nominee and the Senate gets to abdicate its constitutional duty to decide whether it will confirm somebody because they can think of a worse person. They have the power to say no to someone who's not qualified and to say no to someone who's put up again who is even less qualified. I just find that to be a really, truly absurd argument. And under that theory, there's no point in having the Senate confirmation process, which is in the Constitution, and you might as well just have a system where there are no checks and balances.